Welcome everyone. We're very excited to host this webinar today, and my name is Mike Lasecki. I'm at the Maricopa Community Colleges, and we're acting as the host for today's MentorConnect webinar. I was chatting with the attendees just a moment ago, and we're very excited to have people from 35 different states in the United States attending this webinar. I think that shows the interest in this unique program at the National Science Foundation. So welcome to the event for today. Let me show you a few things about the system that you're going to be using to view the presentation. I'm going to advance the slide. I've done that now, and in your screen on the right-hand side it says Whiteboard. That's where you'll be viewing the majority of today's presentations in that area. Now on the next slide, I've highlighted the participant box and the chat box. In the participant box, you can see everyone who is logged in to attend the webinar today. You may recognize people that you know, and if you like, click on their name and give them a message, give them a hello. That would be fine. Remember, the moderators see all of the conversations that are occurring through the participants box and the chat window. Speaking of the chat box, that's where you're going to send your messages or your questions. We have several question breaks today. We encourage you to ask questions in that window just by typing them in, choosing the Room tab, which you'll see on the left there, and then sending it on. Many of you know how that works, so there's really no problem there. Polls. I've highlighted the Polls button. If you turn your eye up to the top of the participants window, that's where everyone's name is all listed out, you'll see 4 horizontal boxes, right? So right now I'm going to turn on the polling box, and you'll see it change its check mark to a A, indicating that's the type of polling. I've just done that. That's where you'll be responding today to the poll. So please, when you're prompted, use that button, pull it down, and choose your responses there. Alrighty, we're ready to go. Let me now officially begin our webinar. Opportunities for NSF ATE program funding and MentorConnect support. Let me pause just for a second. Okay, thank you. Just checking an audio system. We're ready to go there. Welcome again to the webinar. Starting now, I'm pleased to welcome our lead presenter, Elaine Kraft. Elaine is the principal investigator at MentorConnect. Welcome, Elaine. Why don't you take us forward?
Thanks, Mike. It is a privilege to be the principal investigator for the MentorConnect project. It is my pleasure today to also welcome you to today's webinar. We hope that this webinar stimulates you and your college to take advantage of the National Science Foundation Advanced Technological Education Program. That's a mouthful. So we will refer to the National Science Foundation as NSF and to the Advanced Technological Education Program as ATE. So you will hear NSF and ATE frequently throughout today's webinar. NSF is the agency, and ATE is a specific funding program provided by the NSF. Today you will learn about the NSF ATE program and then about a special opportunity for getting help to pursue grant funding from the ATE program. MentorConnect is designed to broaden the impact of the NSF ATE program by helping more of you get funded to conduct projects that will improve technician education in America. Oh, let me see. I've already done what Mike said we were going to do, which is advance the slide too fast. Joining me for today's webinar are my co-principal investigators for the MentorConnect project, Dennis Faber and Ellen Haas. Dennis, Ellen, and I have been working with the NSF ATE program for many years as principal investigators of NSF ATE funded projects and centers. We have also served as proposal reviewers and advisors. In addition, we have all been engaged in conducting special mentoring activities for the NSF ATE program. Also assisting with today's webinar is the MentorConnect Project Manager, Charlotte Forrest. Now I get to introduce our special guest for the day, Dr. Celeste Carter from the National Science Foundation. Following a distinguished career as a scientist and community college educator, she now serves as the co-lead for the NSF ATE program. Just to give you a brief agenda for today. The agenda is made up of two parts. Dr. Carter will start by giving you an overview of the NSF ATE program, and she will introduce a special funding opportunity called Small Grants for ATE. Dennis, Ellen, and I will follow with specifics about how you can apply for special help from MentorConnect. Charlotte will then provide you with all the dates, deadlines, and contact information that you need. If you are new to the ATE program, we will tell you how to get technical assistance and mentoring help to prepare a competitive proposal for submission to the NSF ATE program in October 2015. Note, this is not for this coming October submission deadline, but rather for October of next year. We believe that preparing a really good grant proposal is something like having a baby. It takes about 9 months to get it right.
Elaine, I think we've lost your sound for a moment.
Good, because I lost everything.
Elaine, are you back? Ellen, are you back?
Ellen is back, but I don't know about Elaine.
Okay, folks.
We're checking with Elaine. She's here in office.
Okay, just hold on for a second, folks. We'll get ourselves back here in just a minute. So thanks everyone for your patience as we connect here for just a moment. Ellen and Elaine, we're transmitting. I think we just lost Elaine from South Carolina. Let's hold on for a second.
Hello?
Hi. Elaine, is that you? Everyone hold on just a second as we reconnect here.
Okay, Mike, I apologize. Our phones, two of them, just went dead on us here. I do apologize. I'm back.
Isn't that amazing? You're back.
I know it.
We read you loud and clear, so just go ahead and pick up from where you left.
Great technology. Okay, so I believe we were moving forward to the poll, and several people had participated. Mike, can you check on the participation level for the poll?
Yes, I can. So everyone, let me just remind you now that we've restored our audio that what do you think the overall funding rate is for proposals submitted in the program? Is it A, 70%, or is it down to B at 15%? So please everyone use that polling box. Let's take a look. Oh, most everyone has added in. Let's give people just one more second here and let's see. Okay, here we go. Counting down from 5 to see our polling results. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. So Ellen, what do you think? Most people, oh boy, there's lots of spread here. Go ahead.
All right, Mike, I'm not going to spill the beans. I'm not going to give them the correct answer right now. But if they listen very carefully, Dr. Carter will share this information with them in just a few minutes. Now I am going to turn the program over to Dr. Carter so that we can learn more about the ATE program.
All right, well, welcome everybody. It's a real pleasure to be on the webinar with all of you today. And I've advanced the slide so you can see the welcome to NSF. The interesting thing on this slide is that the left-hand picture that says Arlington, Virginia is the existing NSF building that we are in today, and construction is underway on a new building which is shown on the right. I guess estimated time of occupancy is sometime in 2016. So we'd love to have people come and visit us at NSF. So if you come before 2016, please come see us in Arlington. If it's after we've moved to the new building, we'd love to have you come, and maybe we can even give you a tour of the building. As Elaine introduced me, I'm Celeste Carter. I am in the Division of Undergraduate Education, which is the division within NSF that houses the ATE program. And it's a real pleasure to have all of you on today. And I've included my email down at the bottom of this slide. So please feel free to email me after the webinar if you have further questions, things that are not addressed in today's webinar. And in addition to, just one other thing to point out, in addition to all of the mentoring help you can get through the MentorConnect project, program officers at the National Science Foundation are always willing to take a 1 to 2 page synopsis of your project idea and then give you feedback on that. So please keep that in mind as well. That doesn't happen with a lot of the federal agencies. Okay, so the National Science Foundation, what do we look like? This slide gives you an overview now with pictures. I think that's kind of interesting. They've included everybody's pictures. And although this is a fairly recent slide taken off of our website, it's not current anymore. France Cordova in the Office of the Director, that big yellow box in the center, is our new director. But underneath, the Deputy Director is listed as Dr. Cora Merritt. Cora Merritt left this past month. So at this time, we do not have a formal Deputy Director. But what I would like to point out is that sort of dark purple set of boxes, which is the Directorate for Education and Human Resources, and it's within the EHR Directorate that the Division of Undergraduate Education is housed. If you've got time later and want to sort of scan across here, you'll see that NSF is a pretty interesting federal agency in that it looks a lot like your institutions. Right? We've got bio, we've got math and physical sciences, we've got computer science and information sciences, engineering. It should look pretty familiar to everybody. So, but you want to concentrate on education and human resources to find the Division on Undergraduate Education and the ATE program. We always think our own website is very clear, easy to maneuver through. I know when I say that, everybody starts laughing at me when I'm doing an outreach activity and says, well, not really. But this is a screenshot of the new NSF website. And there are 2 arrows on this. The first one on the far right-hand side shows you quick links, which I think most institutions have a quick links as well, so you can get to places quickly without trying to figure out how to get there slowly. And under quick links, you will find education. So that would be what you would want to use. But before I go to the next slide, I wanted to comment on that other red arrow, which is pointing to a ribbon that goes across the top of every page. And you notice it's highlighting awards. So one of the things you want to be sure and do is be cognizant of what has been funded within the National Science Foundation around your project idea. And this is an awards database that allows you to do that. 2 ways to use it. There's a simple search where you just put in a search term or an institution name or a PI's name. There's also an advanced search where you can put in a little bit more. Say I only want the ATE awards, and I want ATE awards that feature manufacturing or whatever, nanotechnology. So it's just a very important thing to realize that it is there. And you can not only pull up new awards or current awards, you can also even pull up archived awards. So you can kind of see the history of what's happened within any disciplinary focus area. Okay, so if you go to the EHR homepage using that quick links one, there's 3 highlighted red boxes here. One is underneath that first ribbon where the awards was highlighted before with a red arrow, I've boxed in EHR funding. So this will help you a little bit. The size of this database obviously is going to be much smaller. You can do the same kind of searching using the EHR funding tab. Underneath that, on the left-hand side, I've boxed undergraduate education, which is where you're going to find the ATE program. And before I leave this, I highlighted that green box over there that says Get EHR Updates by Email. This is actually a really valuable tool to use if you're interested at all in NSF funding. You can put in any keywords that you would like, and when those keywords pop up, anything that is announced or published on the NSF website, you'll get an email with a link to taking you to that particular thing. So if you just put in education, you would get everything across the Education and Human Resources Directorate, and probably a little more, as the other research directorates also have educational opportunities. But you can refine it as much as you want. But definitely something, I know a lot of people were emailing me over the course of the year saying, so when is the new ATE solicitation going to come out, or is there going to be one? That's a quick way to find out. The day that it was published, you would get an email saying, it's been published, it's available. So let's move on to the ATE program. So this is a program that really is about the education of highly qualified science and engineering technicians. And notice I underlined education. ATE really, we feel very strongly that this is not just a training program. We want it to be programs that support the rigorous educational background that students need, along with the skills and competencies, so that they can be highly qualified to be the science and engineering technicians for advanced technology fields. 3 highlighted words, or a couple of words underneath that. The ATE program is really pretty unique almost across the federal government in that community colleges have to play leadership roles on all projects. That doesn't necessarily mean they have to be the fiscal agents in every case, but we expect to see community college faculty as co-PIs if it turns out that a 4-year institution for some reason is going to be the fiscal agent. One example where that is the case is the National Nanotechnology Center that is housed at Penn State. It's housed there because of the multi-million-dollar nanofabrication facility that is there, and community colleges across the United States can take advantage of that by having students complete a series of initial courses on their home campuses and then move to Penn State, continuing to pay their community college tuition to finish a series of 6 courses in that nanofab facility, leading to a degree in nanotech. So that would be just one example where a 4-year actually is the lead. The next thing is that the ATE program is also pretty unique in that it can support grades 7 through 12, 2-year and 4-year institutions. So this really has lent itself to the development of pathways. So think career pathways, think transition points between high school and 2-year, between 2-year and 4-year. Innovative ideas about some of these things are found within the portfolio of ATE awards. And then the final one is partnerships. Not just the educational partnerships you would need to develop a career pathway, but you really have to have strong industry partnerships. And it helps even to have contacted or be in partnership with either your economic development agency or a workforce investment board, because what you're doing is you're supporting the industry which is in your region. There's a workforce need, and you have an educational program which can supply industry with highly qualified potential employees for that business or industry. Okay, so how much money do we have? That's always a question everybody wants to know. This shows the overall view all the way up to this final column, which is fiscal year 15, which will start on October 1st of this year. And that number is in parentheses because we actually don't have a budget yet. Matter of fact, we're all kind of wondering, are they going to do a continuing resolution? Please, please don't shut us down again. But you can say that since the program really was initiated in '94, that this program has pretty steadily grown in size. We are flat funded now and have been for several years, But in contrast to many programs across the federal government that with the economic downturn were cut, ATE has at least held in a relatively stable position as far as its budget goes. And we hope it's going to continue to grow in the coming years. Okay, so how about the number of awards? This will be the 21st year of the program, so this is showing you the number of awards per state in the 20-year history. It's close to, probably closer now to about 1,400 total awards, and you can see state by state the number of awards that are made, have been made across the program. You can see that we've covered all of the states within the mainland, as well as Alaska and Hawaii. We have Guam and Puerto Rico also represented. And if you're thinking you're from a state and it doesn't have a whole lot of representation, stay tuned for all of the guidelines for MentorConnect, and we'll look for a proposal from you. Okay, there are 3 program tracks. I've highlighted in red the track which MentorConnect really supports, which is the small grants for institutions new to the ATE program. This is an effort on the part of the program to really recruit institutions that have either never had an ATE award or have not had an award within the past 10 years. And that helps us keep diversifying the program. You know, there's approximately 1,200 community colleges in the United States. And I think we've supported roughly a third of those institutions. We'd like that to keep growing. So that's really the reason, one of the reasons you're listening to this webinar today. In addition to that, which is a focus area within the projects, there are full-scale projects or larger projects which can go up to $300,000 per year for up to 3 years. And there's a whole number of types of things you might propose that are all, I hope, clearly delineated within the program solicitation. I do get a lot of questions from people saying, well, gee, I want to update this program we have, but then I also want to do some professional development because I want all the faculty to be up to date. Many, many projects have picked multiple components to come up with a complete project. One other one to point out that you can start thinking about now is that the coordination networks, which is the last bullet under projects, that's something that's new to ATE, and I'm hoping that people will think outside the box, think about sort of multidisciplinary things that they could do. Maybe some of the biotech or biology related ones might want to think about biomedical engineering. Engineering and biomedical devices, you know, things where you would not normally consider yourself forming a network with some of these different people. Then the other 2 tracks are centers and targeted research on technician education, and I think I'm going to let you read about those in the solicitation because I don't want to take too much of your time learning about the MentorConnect project, talking about these different tracks. Okay, so here's the answer to the funding rate. Overall, with the flat funding, our program success rate has fallen to 20%. The good news for all of you is that that small new to ATE rate of success is somewhere between 60 to 70%. I think I'm fairly okay in saying that's probably the best rate you will find anywhere across the federal government. And that's really due to the program officers who support this project area. Every year they come to me and they say, if it's a good idea, even if we have to work with the PI and their team to fix some problems, can we fund it? And my response is as often as I can, I say yes. So please consider that. And I really like this cartoon because the little mouse in his suit and tie is saying the mazes were too easy, so now they have me running through bureaucracies and looking for grants. And NSF a lot of times doesn't feel like a bureaucracy, but it really is. So, advice from program officers. This is something that I think is really important for you to really take these messages home. One is read the solicitation. We get a lot of times questions, and part of it is solicitations are long, and there's a lot of language in there. Some of it is language that we, the program officers, don't necessarily put in when we are reworking a solicitation, but there are legal ramifications to what a solicitation has. And so there are things that get added that way. But there's really a lot of advice and a lot of specifics in that solicitation, so please look at it and read it carefully. You want to choose the right program track. Hopefully, for most of you, that's going to be that small, new to ATE, but you want to really think about that. Elaine has already mentioned that you are starting early, and that's a great thing to do because it's just a critical issue as far as really coming up with a solid proposal the first time you're going to submit. The other one is get help and avoid errors. You can always, as I said, contact us, the program officers at ATE. If you send it to me and I think, boy, one of my engineers would be the best person to give you advice, I will forward it on to an engineer and just let you know, or anyone else. Second, you have the MentorConnect people, and you also have the other project and center principal investigators. ATE is a very open community. You can contact, I think, pretty much anyone and say, I found your abstract on the NSF website and I'd really like to know about your project and this is what I'm proposing. Do you think I could leverage or use some of the things you've developed? I think you will get a resounding yes when you ask that. The second one, be alert for changes. There are some changes. This is a new solicitation that was just published this year. So again, that takes you back to please read the solicitation carefully. And then I put questions to respond to as you're thinking about your project. And this really comes from one of the people who started the ATE program, Dr. Gerhard Salinger. And he said really writing a proposal isn't that hard if you pay attention to these questions. The first one, what is your problem or need? Do you clearly define and explain it? Then the second one is how are you going to respond to that problem? So that's really your need, how you're going to address that need. So let's say Boeing just moved into your backyard and you don't happen to have an aircraft manufacturing program. The need would be Boeing really needs people to hire, and your response would be we're going to develop this program in partnership with Boeing. Okay, the third one is, do you actually have the people with the right credentials to do the work? So going back to that same example, if you've never had an airline manufacturing or maintenance program, you might need to go out and find people that have the relevant expertise. Four, how will you know if you're successful? That's really what evaluation and assessment is about, and it's a very, very important point. As you're going through your project, you want to know if things are working, and you want to know right away, because if it's not working, you want to rethink it and come up with another strategy. And then number 5 is how are you going to tell others about your successes or the outcomes? And that's really dissemination. So that could be everything from you're going to publish papers, you're going to publish curriculum, you will make it widely available on your institution's website or on a separate website. Lots of different ways to think about that. Go to conferences and present. So that there's a variety of ways to let people know. But Gerhard always said, if you keep these questions in mind as you craft your proposal, you're going to come up with a very solid proposal to submit. Okay, so this page is just a screenshot which shows you when you get to that Division of Undergraduate Education page, the ATE program is the first one that's listed. Always nice to start with an A. And when you click on that, it takes you to this page, and this is where you find the solicitation. So the red arrow is showing you the current solicitation. You click on that link, 14-577, and it will say, do you want this as text, the PDF, HTML? You tell us, and you will get the ATE solicitation. So with that, let me ask if anybody has any questions.
Dr. Carter, it's Mike. We do have a couple of questions. Let me try this first one on you. You mentioned that we can contact the program officers. If you had to say, do you think they prefer the phone or email?
Oh, email, please.
Email, definitely. That's
yes.
An easy answer. Okay,
yes.
Good. And as you say on that site, that ATE site is the list of everyone's email, so that's a good
one. Yeah, well, at least gives you a few people. We were listing everybody, and then one of the things at the National Science Foundation is that people have an opportunity to come here as what we call a rotator. So you can come and work at the National Science Foundation for up to 2 to 3 years as a program officer, but then you go back to your home institution. So those people rotate on and rotate off. So we tried to keep it to people that are permanently here and working on the program. But as I said, I will forward things. I don't believe we have an engineer on that list. I will forward it to an engineer if it's an engineering question.
Very good. Here's a little touchier one. I'm not sure if it's touchy, but here's the question. Will it help my application to have a support letter from an elected representative like my governor?
Oh, you know, I would say it certainly doesn't hurt, but the people that you really want to read your proposal carefully, it's really going to be a panel of your peers. So it's not convincing any one of us who are program officers here initially that you have a great project idea. It's convincing a panel of your peers, other faculty, and since APE covers so many things, we try to invite industry people, high school teachers, community college faculty, and four-year faculty. So think about what would really impress them. And I think that might help you decide if you wanted a letter from an elected representative or not. When you do submit letters, it's great to have them be not so much just letter of support, where it says, gee, I think this is a really wonderful idea. If there's any way to fund this, you guys should go ahead and do it. It's the sort of thing, like let's say it's an industry partner. They might say, we think this is a great idea. It's such a good idea that we are willing to take 4 students a year and provide them with internships. Or we will donate equipment to help support this program. And you can fill out the rest. Another thing to think about is if you craft a sort of a template letter and send it out to the people you'd like to have responses from, make sure they don't use the exact wording on every letter and just put their logo on the top, because reviewers tend to take a dim view of that. So those are just a couple of tips on that one.
Excellent. You know, there's been a couple of questions in the chat window. We've already answered one. That is, how do you know if your institution has received prior support? And the answer was, go on to the search function and check that out. So I think that's pretty clear.
Right.
You
know, Dr. Carter, we really appreciate the time that you had today, and also your leadership for the program. I appreciate that very much.
Yes.
We're gonna go.
I see one more question where it says, how does one become a reviewer?
Oh,
Great.
Sure. Go ahead and take that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to have you do that. Please send me an email saying you would like to be a reviewer, and attach your curriculum vitae or your resume, so I know what your disciplinary area is and where we can use you.
Great advice. We're going to take action on that one. Celeste, thank you again. We're going to go forward in the interest of time in our presentation, and I'm going to turn it over now to the MentorConnect team. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Here are some photos of the MentorConnect team. The 3 in the bottom left photo are the principal investigator, that's me, Elaine Kraft, in the pink shirt, along with my co-PIs, Ellen Haas and Dennis Faber. Our awesome project manager, Charlotte Forrest, is in the lower right photo. And the group photo in the upper left includes senior personnel who've helped us get this project started. Osa Brand, Marjorie Wijanike, and Sandy Mikulasky. So you might ask, why MentorConnect? Dr. Carter has already said a little bit about this. Actually, to date, we have too few technical and community colleges who've benefited from NSF funding. And it is getting increasingly more challenging to win an award. As she also indicated, the funding rate even in the NSF ATE program, which has been a little higher than many agencies, has dropped because of flat funding. Also, your requirements are constantly changing and the competition is stiff. And feedback that was once available through the NSF ATE preliminary proposal process has been discontinued. There was a time when you could send a 6-page proposal in and get it reviewed in advance of putting in a full proposal, but that option no longer exists. So while the nation desperately needs highly skilled technicians in advanced technology fields, it has gotten progressively harder to get grant funding to add, grow, or improve technician education programs. In good economic times or bad, There is a persistent shortage of highly skilled technicians in the advanced technology fields that drive our nation's economy. Two-year technical and community colleges are the primary providers of this component of the workforce. And in most technologies and disciplines, we are not recruiting, retaining, or graduating enough highly skilled technicians to meet industry needs. To address this challenge, we need more STEM faculty and community colleges focusing like lasers on meeting this need. The ATE program is designed to stimulate and support just this kind of work. Several smaller mentoring initiatives conducted in recent years have demonstrated that peer mentoring is a very effective way to stimulate knowledge transfer, share best practices, and improve outcomes. The ATE program has created a community that shares willingly with one another. With approximately 250 funded projects each year, an incredible amount is being learned about what works and what doesn't in technician education. There are a wealth of resources available from ATE grantees to help each of us do our jobs better. And most relevant to today's webinar, we have an increasing number of experienced principal investigators, some of whom are former NSF program officers. You just heard a little bit about rotators. Well, once those rotating program officers go back to their institutions, some of them have now been serving as MentorConnect mentors. And they're willing to help first-time applicants as they seek NSF ATE funding. We select 10 each year to work with one-on-one with our college team participants. Having someone who's been down the path many times to guide you can make the difference in success and failure. So the vision of MentorConnect, quite simply, is to create a regenerative mentoring system for leadership development and knowledge transfer to broaden the impact of the ATE program. We want to help you become successful, and then we want you to grow up and then give back to the ATE program by being a mentor yourself. We select a cohort of college teams to work with each year. We are just finishing the second year of this project, and we are now working with over 130 faculty and administrators from 40 colleges in 20 states. To support our college teams, we are selecting and preparing a group of 10 highly experienced ATE mentors each year. These mentors work with 2 colleges each throughout the year. Through our workshops and technical assistance, we are giving colleges the grant writing knowledge and experience that is specific to NSF and ATE. Most importantly, many of those we are now working with have just received their first ATE grant awards. It's been a very exciting summer as those award letters have come in. Next month, we will review the applications that have been submitted for this year, and 20 more colleges will join the growing MentorConnect family and ATE community. This is just a quick shot of our workshop in January of 2012. It was held in Portland, Oregon. This is the group that we had last year in January 2013 in Atlanta, Georgia. Our next workshop is going to be in Tampa, Florida next January. I'm sure that has some appeal to some of you who live in the northernmost areas of our country where the winters are a little wicked. I wish I could put a mirror on the screen so that you could see yourself in a picture of Cohort 3 participants. MentorConnect will use outreach and mentoring to increase the number and diversity of those applying for grants. We will increase the quality of the proposals being submitted and help you not make the mistakes that many times happen just because you don't know any better. And we'll strengthen the leadership skills of funded PIs. All of these activities are working together to create a new generation of leaders for ATE. As Dr. Carter indicated earlier, our current focus has been on getting those who are new to ATE their first awards. And what we do is help you compete for the NSF ATE dollars to strengthen technician education to meet STEM workforce needs, and also through that process to develop your leadership skills. So in a nutshell, MentorConnect can help you in competing for an NSF grant award, and in doing so, develop and grow your leadership skills in advanced technological education. So we have the proposal assistance for small grants now. We also are assisting people when they get to the award process. Getting your award is another whole process after you've been recommended for funding. And later we'll be building out this program to provide guidance and resources for other funded PIs and to help with other areas of ATE grant seeking. Now we're going to turn it over to Ellen, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about our eligibility requirements. Ellen?
Thank you, Elaine. Okay, so who is eligible? Well, MentorConnect invites applications from two-year technical and community colleges that have never received NSF ATE funding, or those who have not had an ATE award in the past 10 years. And MentorConnect is open to STEM faculty at these institutions who are working to prepare technicians for the U.S. workforce. As Elaine mentioned, we're seeking STEM faculty teams that could benefit from improved leadership skills and those who would like assistance in preparing a competitive grant proposal for NSF's ATE program. And we're also seeking STEM faculty that are not only seeking assistance, but are willing to make a strong commitment to developing and submitting an NSF ATE grant proposal in October 2015. And due to a limited number of spots in the program, we can accept 20 college teams. The MentorConnect Proposal Development Assistance opportunity is limited to 1 team application per eligible college. So you may have faculty teams in more than one discipline area that are interested in applying for ATE funding, but you should consult and coordinate among your faculty teams to best determine who should apply for MentorConnect assistance. While your college is welcome to submit more than one grant to NSF for those new to the ATE program, you should be aware that those teams would be in competition with one another as well as the pool of other applicants for ATE funding. So do consider which team could benefit most from the MentorConnect opportunities before applying. And as we are seeking to strengthen numbers of rural colleges and those faculty from underrepresented populations in MentorConnect, we are especially encouraging them to participate and to apply in the program. So I wanted to give you an overview of some of the assistance that MentorConnect offers. STEM faculty teams selected through the MentorConnect application process receive access to technical assistance webinars, to a grant proposal development workshop with travel support in January 2015, a leadership development workshop, an opportunity to attend the High Tech Conference, which is a STEM professional development conference put on by the ATE Centers in July 2015, and direct mentoring assistance through an assigned mentor. So teams of 2 STEM faculty from 20 selected colleges will receive MentorConnect support to develop ATE proposals for the October 2015 submission. And these are some of the photos from our January workshop of last year. And MentorConnect support includes a 3-day workshop held January 28 through 30, 2015 in St. Petersburg, Florida, and where each college faculty team will be paired with an experienced ATE PI and mentor to work with them on-site on their concept and proposal development for the small grants for institutions new to the ATE program track of the ATE program solicitation. Mentors will also work with their colleges for approximately 36 hours of consulting following the workshop up until the October 2015 ATE proposal submission. The mentor team consists of experienced ATE PIs who have written and managed multiple ATE awards and have significant STEM backgrounds and skill sets. And mentors will discuss with their mentees the best course for follow-up and communication after the January workshop, be it scheduling monthly phone calls or email correspondence to help each team meet their deliverables throughout the proposal development process. So you'll work out your communication strategy with your mentors. In addition to working with a mentor, STEM faculty teams will have access to technical assistance webinars designed to assist with grant proposal development, webinars on completing forms in NSF's FastLane, budget and budget justifications and evaluation will be offered in 2015, and my colleague Dennis will provide you with some more detailed information on those later in the webinar. And MentorConnect will also reconvene the 20 college faculty teams for a leadership development workshop, some more face-to-face time with their mentor, and the opportunity to attend the High Tech Conference in late July 2015 in Portland, Oregon. And STEM faculty teams also have access to other resources offered through MentorConnect, such as sample proposals and help desk support, which can assist in addressing basic questions in grant preparation. So I'd like to talk specifically about the January 2015 MentorConnect workshop, as it is the main event for the cohort and the first opportunity for the colleges to interact with their mentors face-to-face. As referenced earlier, the workshop is being held in January in St. Petersburg, Florida, so hopefully one benefit is the warm winter weather location of this event. And as part of MentorConnect, a 2-member team from the college is required to attend this workshop. So again, this is a required workshop. There's no registration fee for the STEM faculty team. And in addition, MentorConnect project offers each participating college up to $1,200 in travel support for a faculty team of 2 to attend the January workshop in St. Petersburg. So it may not cover all of your travel expenses, but we do give you $1,200 to go towards participant support and travel support for this workshop. So in addition to travel support, STEM faculty teams get personal time to work face-to-face with their assigned mentors, as well as have the benefit of networking with the full cohort of potential grantees and the experienced mentor team. And the workshop content, which Dennis will elaborate on momentarily, includes grant writing skills and tips for being competitive in an NSF ATE program. And all of the MentorConnect workshop and technical assistance offerings are designed to help build leadership skills among STEM faculty through developing proposals and learning what is entailed in becoming and being an ATE grantee and a principal investigator. And teamwork is encouraged. So while the MentorConnect focus is primarily on STEM educators, it's important to note the role of your sponsored research office, or SRO, grant writer, or someone serving in that equivalent role at your institution. If your institution does not have someone in this role, the function will need to be assigned to someone as you pursue federal grant funding. To talk a little bit more about that, so while a faculty member can do most of what is required for submitting an NSF ATE grant proposal, there's a final and essential step that must be completed by a person at your institution who's authorized to commit college resources to the project being proposed. So that is typically the job of the sponsored research office, grant writer, or an administrator that can be handled by another person who has been given this authority. The actual submission of a proposal is a 2-step process. So once the faculty member has completed his or her work, all documents have been uploaded into FastLane and online forms completed, then the first of 2 submit commands is activated. The first submit command sends the proposal to the second level of authority at your college, which is typically the grant writer or the SRO. It does not submit your grant to NSF. The larger your institution, the more sophisticated this process and structure may be. In some institutions, the grant writer and SRO are one and the same, but that's not always the case. And the essential message here is that it takes a second person to actually get your proposal submitted to NSF, and one who has the authority to supply an electronic signature for the college and forward the proposal to the National Science Foundation. We'll discuss this topic again at the January workshop, but I mention it here because it's important to understand that the person with SRO authority at your institution makes a big difference in whether or not your proposal actually gets submitted to NSF. These individuals are typically skilled at checking to see that all of the requirements for the grant submission have been met. And so teamwork, as I said, is encouraged. So the MentorConnect project invites participation from the college's SRO, grant writer, or supportive administrator at the technical assistance workshop in January. While the project does not provide for financial assistance for the SRO, grant writer, or administrator to attend, we offer it as a self-pay option and encourage participation with the faculty team attending from your college. SRO grant writers can attend for a $325 registration fee, and they benefit from a workshop breakout session and networking opportunity geared toward their needs as grant writers and sponsored research officers. And workshop participation of an SRO or grant writer also allows them access to the faculty team's assigned mentor during the workshop and following the event, as well as access to the MentorConnect Help Desk and other resources. And for reference, last year all 20 college teams brought either a grant writer or an administrator with them to the January workshop. So we wanted to do just a little quiz here to see how many of you know who the SRO is for your institution. So if you wouldn't mind letting us know if you have knowledge of who that individual is, or if you don't, or if you think you might.
Thanks, Ellen. Participants, if you'll just use the polling box in the upper level of the participants window, way up above everybody's names, and please click on it. You either know or you don't know, or you're not sure. So, Ellen, I'm just going to give them a moment to count down here to put their numbers in, their letters in. Let me check. Oh, got a lot of responses. Let's give a 5-second countdown, Ellen, and then I'll show you the results of our poll. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go.
Nope, I didn't advance that.
Let me go back one. Okay, there we are.
Okay, thank you. So it looks like we have a good number of you who are aware of your SRO, a few that do not, and some that are not sure. So there is certainly time to determine who that individual is at your institution and or to get authority assigned to that individual. But that gives us a good sense of that there are the majority of you know who that person is and who serves in that role in that capacity. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Dennis to talk more about the mentor's role in MentorConnect.
Thanks, Ellen, and it's a pleasure to be able to talk with all of you today. I'm going to do a little digging down into some of the details, just to reiterate, provide a little bit more depth, and maybe address some of the questions that we've seen in the chat box as we go along. So when we talk about what to expect from a mentor, their role is to assist you during the workshop. They will work very carefully with you during that period of time over the course of the 2.5 days to really help you do some of the things that we'll talk about a little bit in a minute. In the end result, they will provide 36 hours approximately of customized mentoring and consulting, and you will work with your mentor to figure out how best to make that happen. We encourage a kind of an action plan that has periodic and regular communication with between the mentor and the mentees. The kind of proposal assistance that you'll get is how to strengthen the proposal topics, how to refine the ideas and strategies for achieving your goals and objectives. The mentors will provide links to ATE resources and other folks who might be able to help you fine-tune your proposal. And also in addressing the specific requirements that NSF and the ATE have for your proposal and for the ideas that are included in that proposal. Here's our wonderful group of 2014 mentors. These folks are all experienced centers and PI project directors and have done a great job this year, I think, to get our folks prepared for the proposal submission process. A little digging down into the proposal development workshop as well. The content will include a thorough review of ATE proposal requirements, and again, it assumes that you will have read that solicitation, as you've heard Celeste and some other folks mention already, 2 or 3 different times. You'll also get some advice on strategies and tips for competitive proposals. You'll learn more about the resources that are available to you through the NSF and ATE program. And you'll get an introduction to what we believe is important about the whole leadership development piece. We think this is really a key component of getting involved with the ATE program, that there's a good opportunity for leadership development and a good opportunity for you to capitalize on that leadership development as you think about continued involvement with NSF. The other workshop content will include a mock NSF panel review of actual proposals. So we've got agreement from some of our folks who have gone through the process already to use their proposals and have you go through what your proposal will likely experience as it goes through the NSF panel review process. We'll have a special session for the grant writers. They have some particular needs and some particular areas of information that they need, and we'll work with them to answer those questions or address some of those needs. You will have the opportunity to fine-tune and hopefully draft a proposal concept, and we're going to ask you to develop about a 3-minute elevator speech. That's real important for you to get some of that concept clear in your mind, and we'll share that with the other participants as well. It's been a fun experience for folks, and it's been one of the things that's been rated pretty highly in the workshop, actually. The other thing that we'll talk to you about and emphasize is a suggested timeline for completion of the proposal. What should be done by when? What should you be working on as you hit the 2nd month, 3rd month, 5th month, and so on in that proposal development continuum. The other thing that we'll ask you to do is to complete a next steps action plan with your mentor's input and guidance so that you both know how you're going to proceed forward as you begin to work together over the next period of time. Other MentorConnect help that's available are also available to the entire ATE community. Ellen mentioned technical assistance webinars. Those will occur during the spring of 2015. There are a myriad of forms that you must complete and that must accompany your proposal, and we'll give you some guidance and direction on how to address those. Evaluation has become a very critical piece of the NSF ATE solicitation and the requirements for all projects and center proposals. And we'll talk a little bit about how to develop an effective evaluation for your project, particularly given the limited dollar awards for the small grants funding categories. The other thing that's difficult for most folks is getting the budget and the budget justification prepared in the format that NSF requires of you. We'll provide some guidance during the budget webinar on how to do that and the kinds of things that typically you ought to avoid as you think about building a budget. The other help that's available to you in addition to the webinars includes a help desk that's staffed by MentorConnect personnel and qualified experienced ATE community members to provide answers to your questions in a very timely manner. We have launched and continue to add to an online bank of various resources to help answer the wide variety of questions and respond to the equally wide variety of information needed to develop and implement your project. You can access these resources now through the MentorConnect website. And there's more to come as we have developed this MentorConnect approach. We're learning some things and adding some things as we go along. The mentoring system is entering its 3rd year, and we continue to evolve and provide excuse me, more resources, technical support, and mentoring opportunities for new, existing, and potential grantees. So how do I apply? You can access right now the application package at the MentorConnect website. We ask you to take a self-assessment that will give you some ideas and us some ideas of the degree to which you're prepared to actually move forward. There is a team application. We expect 1 team application per college. The due date for that is October the 10th. It includes a faculty profile and statement of interest from both of the faculty team members that are going to be involved in the project. We'd like to see a brief 1-page statement of the proposal concept and focus. There is a profile if your grant writer or SRO or administrator is attending that we expect to be completed. And there is an affidavit from one of your top administrators that says, that they're willing to provide the support necessary to help your proposal be successful. regardless of whether you're accepted into a cohort or not, once you apply, you're eligible for MentorConnect Help. You may not get the direct help that the cohort provides, but you certainly have open to you the resources that MentorConnect provides. We will select 20 colleges for the next cohort. That notification will occur on November the 7th of 2014. For those who do not get accepted into the cohort, we will provide some one-on-one consultation and discussion with you about your application and your concept and maybe some next steps. We'll certainly invite you to all the technical assistance webinars, and you are always available to access the online resources that we have. So before we get to the quiz, I want to talk a little bit about well, let's do the quiz. I'm sorry. Mike, I'll turn it over to you to run the quiz.
Yeah, we're good. So here's the question, folks. As a prospective NSF ATE grantee, how would you describe yourself? So for those of you participating today, are you relatively new to this? Are you new to ATE but probably got some grant background? Or you're pretty set, you're knowledgeable and confident? A, B, or C? Use the polling box, please, friends, in the upper part of the thing. I see many of you have responded already to this, so thank you. Okay, Dennis, we're going to give them a countdown of 5 seconds, so here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take a look. New to this program but not clueless is the major response, and that's good, Dennis, isn't it?
Yes, I absolutely love it. That means we should have some really good, strong applicants for this next cohort. Thank you. We appreciate the input and we appreciate the information about the kinds of skills that you guys and confidence that you guys have. So let's talk a little bit about selection criteria. As we walk through the process, we expect that the application is fully completed, that your college is small grant eligible, and there were a couple of questions about that were raised. One of the ways to do that, to make that check, is to take a look at the NSF website under the awards and to sift through that process. If that is difficult, I think you should talk with your SRO or your grant writer and find out what the history of application to the NSF is. And I think also that if that poses some difficulty, then contacting us or sending an email to Celeste might provide an answer for that as well. There are some nuances to that eligibility that I'll talk about in a minute. The other selection criteria is a good idea and a technician education focus. That's been emphasized a couple of times, especially by Celeste, that we're focused on technician education. We need a faculty team of STEM faculty members that are highly interested in doing the work. If your boss is telling you you got to apply, you're not really too hot to trot on it, then maybe that's not the best situation to demonstrate interest in moving forward. We're going to look at geographic diversity of the institution, and we're also going to look at the demographic diversity of faculty and team members, as well as the students that you serve. Let me make a couple of side comments about some of the selection criteria. Sometimes one of the questions is, are faculty required to have a doctoral degree? And the answer to that is no. I would say that of all the criteria, the proposal concept and focus, the one-pager, is an important part of the application process. It's going to require a reasonably well thought out project idea based on some research and investigation with your local industry and educational organizations about their needs. And it's going to need to be aligned with the ATE solicitation. Read the solicitation carefully again. The proposal needs to be consistent with the requirements and expectations in that solicitation. There are some, again, technician education. Things like nursing don't apply. There are some areas of emerging and converging areas that may raise some questions for NSF. One of the ones over the last few years has been this whole logistics and supply chain management area of education and whether or not that qualifies as technician education. If there are any questions about whether your concept makes any sense or is stretching the definition that NSF may have as technician education, you can again certainly contact any of the MentorConnect staff or talk directly with one of the program officers. And I think at this point I'd like to turn it back over to Elaine.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Perhaps you find all this a little bit overwhelming, or perhaps it just isn't a good time for you and your college to pursue the MentorConnect opportunity. This really takes a team effort, and you need a committed college team to be successful. So if after synthesizing all this information, looking at the application and so forth, and you just sort of panic and say, I just don't know if we're ready to do this, we would encourage you to rally support at your college and then perhaps apply next year. As many of you are ready to go, we want you to apply this year, but we just want you to know that there will be other opportunities going forward if this is not the best time for you. If you've been an ATE grantee recently and thus are not eligible for the MentorConnect one-on-one mentoring opportunity, MentorConnect has other ways that we can provide assistance to those pursuing ATE funding to advance technician education. So we encourage you to join us for our technical assistance webinars and check out our resources and give us a call, and we'll help you any way that we can. MentorConnect is still new. We have just completed our second year of work. There are more ideas hatching and resources being developed as we build this mentoring and leadership development system for educators like you. We encourage all of you to stay connected to MentorConnect and to become part of the ATE community. As a reminder, the purpose of MentorConnect is to provide a mentoring system that allows those engaged in technician or related STEM education to benefit from and contribute to the NSF ATE program. I hope that this webinar has succeeded in helping you understand the opportunities for NSF ATE program funding and the MentorConnect grant writing support. We believe that the work is being done in the ATE program is vital to our nation's economy, and we want you to join us in this effort. Applying for and implementing a grant from the NSF is a big undertaking for you and your institution. Even completing the MentorConnect application will take some work. So please don't hesitate to contact us for help along the way. That's what MentorConnect is all about, just-in-time help when you need it. Peers helping peers. We are dedicated to providing the assistance you need to be successful. Now I'm going to ask Charlotte to remind you of important dates and deadlines.
Thank you, Elaine, and thank all of you. We have laid out this timeline for you as a recap. We would like for you to be able to plan ahead a bit. The first thing that you will do is download an application, if you have not done so already, from the MentorConnect.org website listed on the screen. As you have heard throughout the presentation, we do encourage you to build your teams early. On October 10th, that will be the last day to submit applications for one-on-one mentoring. By November 7th, each team will be notified of acceptance into the mentoring program. All notifications will be sent via email, so keep your eyes peeled. Notifications for those accepted into MentorConnect will consist of forms needed to solidify your spot for the mandatory workshop in January. Correspondence will include an official letter, workshop registration information, travel reimbursement procedures and forms, hotel reservation links, and workshop homework. The workshop will be held in St. Petersburg, Florida, near Tampa, January 28th through the 30th, 2015. Again, this is required for all who are accepted for one-on-one mentoring. Also note the December 19th registration deadline for the workshop. Following the workshop in January, there will be a series of live webinar broadcasts free of charge that provide technical assistance to those pursuing grant funding assistance. All of those dates are listed, but via the website, we will continue to send updates about those events. So, please stay connected with MentorConnect. We are here for you. No matter where you are in the process of becoming an NSF ATE grantee, we are here to help. We can be reached in various ways, as you can see on your screen. Website, email, social media, or even you might see us at a local outreach event near you. Please take a look. The archived presentation will be sent to each of you and is also available via the MentorConnect website at the conclusion of this webinar. We ask that you reference the handout that will be sent to you personally by email for additional details. Specifically, we have a video named What is ATE? And that video link has been provided if you would like to share details with your college colleagues. We also have contact information on that form. I would now like to turn the presentation over to Maytech for final questions in our webinar survey. Please take a minute to help us improve our webinars. We appreciate your interest in our project, your time, and making this webinar break a MentorConnect record in webinar registrations.
Well, thank you, Charlotte.
Mike,
it's Mike.
I'll now turn it over to you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Got a couple of questions. Before I launch that survey, as long as I've got you on the line, let me ask you this question. Does participating in MentorConnect increase your success rate? One of our attendees wonders if, what the MentorConnect success rate is compared to everybody else. Does it help?
Mike, I'll chime in and answer that question. It can help. And this past year we had 20, well actually there's a time lag in getting NSF ATE funding. It takes about 18 months from the time you start this process to develop your proposal, get it submitted, finally hear from NSF, and finally get an award. So we started this project in 2012, and our first cohort has just been getting awards this spring and summer. And so from that first cohort, we had 20 college participants. Of those 20, 18 actually submitted proposals in October of 2013. And of those, we have got 10 new grant awardees. Now, what you need to understand is that not all 18 who submitted in the small grants track. We had some that chose to submit in the projects track. We had one actually that chose to submit in the research track. Those are much more competitive tracks, and those proposals were not successful. But we had a really good track record for the new grants, very consistent with the numbers that Dr. Carter shared earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. I think 10 for 18 is really pretty darn good. Don't you think so, Elaine?
Yeah, I mean, we're pleased. And
you go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. We're pleased. That's good, and we'll keep improving our processes and seeing if we can't even get a better rate.
Excellent. Here's one more question, and then I'm going to launch the survey, Elaine, as long as I've got you on the line. If you've been a subrecipient on somebody else's award, does that count in this previous award issue for the the new grantees?
No, you are still eligible. The only criteria is that your particular institution has not been what's called the performing institution. Some are both the performing institution and the fiscal agent, but if you have, let's say the state of Kentucky, for example, every award from the National Science Foundation to the Kentucky Community and Technical College system, the award goes to their system office, but the system office is clearly not the one doing the projects. The projects are being done out at the colleges that generated the grant proposal. And so those colleges that are doing the grant proposal are the performing institution. Also, if you have multiple campuses of your institution, if you've got a branch campus that has its own chief academic officer or provost, then that branch campus is also eligible for a grant if they haven't had one before. It's fine to have been a sub-awardee and to have been a partner with somebody else's grant. Actually, that really should help a lot because it gives you some really critical grants experience that you can now bring to this effort to be your own, get your own grant and be a grantee.
Well, thanks, Elaine. You can see the operator here is having problems in launching the correct survey, so hold on just a second. And then while that survey is coming up,
Mike, there was another question that we might want to just address while it's there. There's a question about attendance at the January workshop and can someone send a sub? And I'll provide a response, and if there's any other information, Elaine can chime in too. But I think it's real important that whatever the team is going to do the proposal be at the workshop. If there's some very odd set of circumstances, I think we can sort of entertain some discussion about that. But I think the general gist is that we want the team members there because they're the ones that have to carry the ball going forward after the January workshop. So sending a sub is probably not the best approach at all.
So we're just
you really would.
Yeah.
You're right. The basic answer to that is no, but what we encourage teamwork. And so if you had two people that were going to work on this and you've got a third person that you could send to the workshop, then your team just becomes three, the person who couldn't come and the two who can come. We certainly don't want you to be excluded, but you do need two people at the workshop who will be working on the project. Mike, also I see one more question up here that I'd like to address, which is where they're talking about asking if they get a recording of the webinar that they can share with other people. I want to point out too that as you are sharing these thoughts and ideas and opportunities with those at your institution, we encourage you to use the What is ATE video. It is included in the handout that you received. It's on the second page and about the middle of the page. It's a YouTube video. It's short, but it's a great overview of the ATE program, not unlike what Dr. Carter provided today. So if you're having a little small group meeting at your college and want to share these ideas, that's a great resource to use.
Well, thank you, Elaine. And folks,
Mike, one more comment. I spoke earlier about doctoral degrees not being necessary, and there's a question that says, what's the minimum education requirement for faculty?
Yes.
And I would say we have seen proposals go in where folks have associate degrees and a significant amount of experience, both industry and or education experience, that have been successful. I think the review team takes a look at the educational qualifications to make sure that it appears that folks are capable of pulling off the proposal. And certainly the panel review process really takes a look at the credentials that folks bring to that effort. And there's no hard and fast rule about that. We have seen some associate degree folks get funded, and the other end of it says you don't really need a doctoral degree to get funded either. So someplace in between on that continuum is probably the kind of academic credentials that panel reviewers are looking for.
Well, very good. I have one other question while we're working on the survey. By the way, folks, we do really appreciate your help with the survey. You do have to respond to all of these questions on the survey before you can do it. It should take you less than 2 minutes while we're chatting here. I have a question. Let me turn this one over to Ellen. Ellen, one of the questions came in as you're writing one of these small grants new to ATE. Do you have to follow the tracks that are laid out in the program, or can you be free form? What do you think, Ellen?
I think let me defer to Elaine on that one.
Okay, let's go to Elaine on that one.
Okay, I'm assuming that when you're asking about the tracks, it's all the different types of topics that you might do a project on. All of those apply to the small grants. So you can do a small grant that's on curriculum, you can do it on professional development, you can do it on internships, you can do it on pathways. They're all, any of those topics are available in combinations of those topics. The big thing about a small grant is just narrowing down your focus. You just can't do a whole lot with a small grant. So if you've got a bigger vision, think of this as a first step. If you wanted to build a program, what's the first step? Now maybe the first step is to get a certificate in place or get your faculty up to speed on a new emerging technology. So you have a lot of latitude about the content. That's where the innovation in ATE comes from. And we like innovation, and the reviewers like innovation. So you're not constrained in that regard. The small grants is really just kind of capping the dollar amount that you can request for the first grant.
Okay, good. That's a good one. Now, folks, let me just go ahead. We've had plenty of time to do this lovely survey. I'm going to be closing this now, so type in your last responses in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's closed. Now, let me look at the final set of questions that we have here. We talked about the tracks, the minimum education requirement, the MentorConnect success rate, really pretty good. Elaine, will you expect a lot of people to apply for this thing in January? Do you think a lot of competition? You've got 20 spaces. Do you expect a lot of competition?
Well, Mike, of course we'd love to have a lot of competition because we'd like to know that there are that many of them out there that are really interested in this. The largest number of applicants we've had in a cohort so far has been 36 for 20 slots, so those odds are pretty good. We're not sure about this year. We've been working now for a couple of years getting the word out, so it may be a little higher than that, but you still have a really good chance of getting selected.
Of course, there is the incentive of January in Florida, but that's another story, isn't it?
It's a good story, though.
Thank you. Well, folks, that brings us officially to the end of our webinar today. There's been many of our participants who have commented in the chat window thanking the presenters, acknowledging the quality of this webinar, and I want to also add my thanks to our presenters today, to Charlotte, to Elaine, Dennis, and Ellen. I really appreciate and of course Celeste Carter, who made her time available for today. We appreciate it. This program's been an important one to community colleges. And Elaine, we'd like to close by thanking you. You've led this MentorConnect effort. You're the principal investigator, and we just want to give you a big round of applause there. People, if you want to use your little icons there, there's a smiling face. There's actually an applause icon if you want to. We can do that. Elaine, I guess we're all set. Any closing comments that you want to have, or are we ready to close?
I think we're ready to close, Mike. You're a great partner in putting on these webinars, and you make our job easy. Thank you so much for being on the team.
Okay, good. Well, it went really well today. Attendees, thank you. This officially closes our webinar. I'll be disconnecting the recording now, and in a few minutes the whole system will shut down. Presenters, please stay on the line for a minute while we debrief from today.